All right. Well, it's no surprise that I'm doing a video on the Super Bowl. I think I had a bit of a lame prediction on that one, with the old Chiefs winning it. Uh, I didn't lose. I tried not to lose faith watching it, but eventually, at about 3 minutes to go, I'm like, I don't think there's any chance. There's no way this can turn around now. Yeah, it was a pretty one-sided game. I don't know what to say about it, to tell you the truth. The Empire Strikes Back is what springs to mind. Um, the return of Brady. I guess it's the rebirth of Brady, and I forgot to mention this in the other previous video to this one. With that prediction in it. Thank you, Jimmy, for pointing out to me that I missed that, which was the fact that the whole thing, the Tampa Bay game, was a home game, and the whole thing about coming home, um, that was that was the story that was going to play out. It was always going to be um, Tampa Bay that was going to win. That the story of being at home and winning. That was the story that was going to play out. It's about coming home, but the deeper metaphor is about coming home back to nature, back to God, rather than being trapped in the fictional system. Well, funnily enough, the whole, the whole, I don't know, the whole symbolism of Tampa Bay, though, is that fictional system, is the moon. And we'll get into that a bit more here in a minute, but a bit of a twist on the whole thing. I mean, I guess you could look at it as a reboot of the fictional system. I guess with the rebirth of man must come the rebirth of the fiction as well. Boy, I don't know. Anyway, we'll just go through it. I didn't half get that wrong though, but as soon as them calls started coming from the refs, I'm like, it just, whenever you watch a Brady game, you're like, boy, this guy seems, the calls seem to go his way an awful lot. Nothing said about that. And it's, once stuff starts going downhill for a team, no excuses for the bad show of the Chiefs there. But I mean, man, it's difficult to get into a game when it just goes downhill straight from the start. And I mean, poor old Mahomes took a pounding in that game. And again, it's just another good metaphor for what the system will do to the man. I mean, if Mahomes is the prodigal son, look at the beating he took, and that's what the system will do to you every time. That's what the fictional system does. It beats you down. Anyway, I don't know, but I mean, I shouldn't make my predictions never seem to work out at all, so I shouldn't make a prediction, but in all likelihood, we're going to see that lineup again um, at some point, I would say. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they'll pick two other teams to do um, to write the story with. I'm not sure. But anyway, interesting. Anyway, this bloody thing. You won't believe this. So we're watching the game, and this guitar pops up, and we had the conversation right then and there while this was going on, about um, Back to the Future. And so here is the guitar. Here is Marty. And where is he? At the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, This is where we are in the fiction, Look at the blue. And you'll see no end of blue in the halftime show. But this is the guitar. Johnny Be Good. Johnny Be Good. Anyway, let's move on to this now. Blimmin' hell, I've lost my spot here. But this is interesting because before I hang on a minute, I got to tell you the sequence in which this goes. So I get her up, I get Miley Cyrus up, and the first one that pops up is Joan Jett with Miley Cyrus. God knows what they're singing, probably a reference. But what bloody guitar has she got? I mean, what are the chances this pops up twice at this Super Bowl? What are the chances? This guitar, I mean, I know it's not exactly the same guitar, but I mean, in terms of guitars, it's pretty close, isn't it? And so I didn't even notice this at the time until my boy was stood over my shoulder watching as well, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, look in your feed there. They've got it in your feed as well. Look at right here. This is what YouTube sending my way. This is after looking up Miley Cyrus. This is after we've had a discussion about it. Actually, while we're watching the Super Bowl, I don't know, sending this stuff my way. Anyway, what else does it send my way but this? Because I probably would have ended my looking at this point until I see this. Who have they got here? What's he singing? White Wedding. Yes. I don't know. Are we rejoining the fiction? The reborn man rejoining the fiction? I don't know. But anyway, here he is. They've got him out of the woodwork and they've got him up here with old Miley Cyrus. And of course, she does sing Wrecking Ball as well in it. I haven't looked that one up, but no doubt there's something significant during that. I just haven't got time, to be quite honest, and it would just probably end up making the videos too long. I've just a ton to get through on this. So anyway, let's just, I don't know where to go from here. I wanted to pick up just two things, right, before I get onto the halftime show. The ads. There were a few, I mean, this was the one ad that kind of popped out for me, that I thought was fairly significant, that they had to mention Pac-Man. I think he mentions 82 in this. But anyway, Pac-Man. If you've seen my other videos um, on the dam, on Hoover Dam, and on Kim Jong Un, you will know that Tupac #1 is right at the start of this whole sequence of events that we're seeing right now. I'm thinking Tupac has something to do with the start of this sort of round of events. Right before Diana dies, we've got Tupac dying in Vegas, and we've also got Kim Jong Un. His name at school was Pak Un. So again, with the pack, and of course a reference to man. I don't know if this is interesting or not really, but anyway, that ad was a halftime ad. Where I want to pick up on now? Let's see. Let's go straight to this halftime thing. Now, I apologise for the pictures on this because for some reason half of this is blurry. But let's go to the start of it. You can't. I mean, you just can't write it. You can't write it. Oh, geez. I'm pretty sure this is a Mercedes. I'm not sure if this is the same car that he drives around in his video. I'm pretty sure he's in Vegas. I mentioned in that other video that the one that I've just done before this, about him being in Vegas. I think for a couple of his music videos. So this is the weekend here, and we've got the Vegas sign, and we've got the Mercedes, and the Mercedes is the three-legged. It's the system. It's the merchant system. So anyway, no doubt we've got that there. We've got the Pepsi logo, which is the South Korea yin and yang. I don't know what else to say about it. We've even got, look, my old mate on the other channel, Jurassic Liars. We've even got a reference to the Space Needle, or is it a reference to gosh, what are those two? I think there's those two deals that are in Men in Black. I don't know where that's at, but anyway, all the same sort of symbolism, you know. I tell you, this symbolism sits in every, well, not every town across the states, but in a large proportion of towns in the states, there's one of these, and it's, what is it? It's a water tower, and this is, you know, I mean, it's just a metaphor. Don't get bent out of shape about it, but this is us living under the control of the fictional waters. This is the water that is elevated above us, controlling us. And there's a water tower, like I said, in pretty much every small town, every big town across the states. Just a metaphor there, um, showing us, you know, the system we live under. Anyway, interesting little start bit here. And of course, I think if you have the hardtop version of this car, I think this may be the, I don't know if it is maybe the one that has the gull wing doors, like the um, DeLorean, but this one just has the flip up doors. And whether or not that really is whether that's how the doors work normally, I don't know, but that's there for a reason. Got this dude floating down here. I don't really want to spend too much time on it, but they did manage to do the whole thing at the one end of the stadium with this bloody thing across everything. And I've said this is the ray of the moon, right? This is what we're dealing with here. The ray of the moon. And of course, James. I mean, if we were going to have a king's name, and I'll tell you this because I don't think anybody's cottoned on to this yet. I listen to a lot of channels that go on about the Great Scott, that's referred to in Back to the Future. Now, yeah, okay, there's some links with Donald Trump's heritage, the Great Scott, you know, and all this stuff. But you know what the true Great Scott is? That this country, all the founding fathers, you know, pretty much a lot of the influential figures in this country's history, the Great Scott is the Masons. It's the Scottish Rite, the Scottish Rite. And if you're going to pick a name that represents the King of Scotland, it would be James. So there we go. There's your link. I know that's a loose link to Scotland, but James is a very, very Scottish name. And Jimmy. You know, it's a very Scottish name, and to have that right there, I think, you know, this Great Scott is a reference to the Scottish Rite, okay, of Freemasonry, the thing that runs the whole system basically. Okay, with that being said, this thing is shining the whole way through, and of course it's all in blue, and we've got the blue, we've got this, you know, the fictional waters, people, you know, that's what we've got going on here. I don't want to play any of this because we all know how bent out of shape they get about copyright. Okay, they've managed to do it at one end of the stadium. Obviously, I think it's just to get this in there, but because usually it takes place down on the pitch, you know, and there's probably an excuse why they had to do it down this end and everything else, but you know, it happens for a reason. This is interesting because we've got this sort of stepped looking wall here. It's actually a, you know, a wall, and I'm going to make a very loose connection with the dam now, but if we move on a little bit, who pops the waters part, and out comes the man, and I mean, the pose is almost there, isn't it? His arms are a little bit bent, but there he is. You know, the Christ pose coming out. The dam's breaking, and out is born the man. Interesting, isn't it? The king is reborn, and of course, you know, what's he wearing? Here we go with the Michael Jackson look. You know, I mean, it's difficult. You know, it's difficult to do that Michael Jackson look without looking just like Michael Jackson, because of course Jacko has got a very unique look. But you know, he's got the gloves on, he's got the shoes on, we've got a red jacket contrasting with the black. Um, very Michael Jackson-y. What more to say? The king of pop, the king's reborn. So here we go. We've got basically what looks like, oh my gosh, we've got these guys with the red eyes and the white on it. It's almost like a bloody Bonnie Tyler reference there with bright eyes. And all these look like buildings outlined behind. The one here, though, boy, it looks like a blooming gravestone to me. That one there definitely does. So, do we have, are these gravestones? You know, is this the dead here? Interesting, isn't it? Just a little hint there to give you the sort of idea of that. All it takes is one. Okay, this is interesting. So he goes back inside the dam, the mother, and of course, well, my wife couldn't watch this part of it. She's like, "This is doing me in." He's spinning around all over the place. I think referencing being trapped. You know, everything's bright and illuminated, but he's trapped inside a box here. You know, blinded by the lights, the bright lights, the fictional lights. You know, different. You know, arrows pointing different ways. Got the alone here. You know, trapped inside a box. And he was kind of frantic in there, going around in circles. We'll get onto this lot next. So this lot are in there with him. This is where we first see these guys, all dressed in the same outfit, apart from their faces have a mask over them. You know, like the kind of mask you'd probably have if you just had plastic surgery. And, you know, the kind of mask that changes your identity or gives you no identity. Anyway, let's whip out of here. Yep, we're back to the outside now. Oh boy, I know this is, sorry about this, is terrible really, but okay, this was interesting as well. So we're back to the blue, you know, that blue color, and we got the moon coming up. We got the full moon rising. So the mother goddess is rising. You know, this is the Empire Strikes Back again. You know, the Death Star is right there, people. There it is. And old Tom Brady and Tampa Bay, the double T. Actually, I forgot to mention that. We've got Tom Brady with the same initials as Tampa Bay. You know, a double there, and the double T, Tampa Bay and Tom Brady. So that was interesting as well. But yeah, got the moon rising. I don't really know if the. Oh, I want to get down to these guys here. Where are we at? Come on. And I haven't even bothered looking at all these letters they've got going on in the background there with the arrows pointing and. Jeez, who knows what that's all referencing. If I can find the spot. Sorry about this. It's painful when I have to do it like this, but otherwise I have 50 tabs up all at the right spot. I'm sorry this is so blurry as well. But here's the guys. Here's the guys with the white faces, all lined up like bloody stormtroopers, and this is what they are. This is what the system creates: is a clone of you. Looks like kind of identical on the surface, but it's not. You know, there is no physical face to it. It's just a paper version of you. This is your clone, your counterpart from the system. You know, everybody that looks the same. You know, and so this is the thing that, unfortunately, this is the thing that ends up controlling you, or rather, the system is controlling this thing, and you fall for the illusion becoming this thing. If you're new to the channel and you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to go back and look at some older videos about, you know how the system really works. It's all back in my old stuff, but anyway, yeah, this is it. You know, this is the clone, and of course they're all out. You know, got a whole bunch of them. But a pretty deep reference there. That's your straw man. For people that like to call it the straw man, the fictional person. He's running up the middle. Okay, I think that's about it for that. To be quite honest, I probably just need to leave the whole video there. There was a ton of other bits and bobs in here, but like I said, I just don't. The problem I have is that these videos take so long to, and of course we've got the fireworks shooting off, and we've got the yin and yang, South Korea right here. But the colors that are used, you know, of course, are emulating this whole yin and yang aspect. And again, the colors with the Chiefs and the colors with Tampa Bay, you know, the fictional moon side of Tampa Bay. And another interesting thing, though, you know, another interesting way of looking at that whole thing was, you got Tom Brady winning, but if we watch the Pirates of the Caribbean, and of course this is what I'm just pointing at it right here. This is what this flag is. The Bucks flag or logo is that same skull and cutlasses. I guess they are. I don't know what they are. Cross cutlasses. In the Pirates of the Caribbean, those were the good guys. The pirates were the good guys, and of course, what the system is the same thing. Is the East India Company? You know, it's that same corporate system. I mean, it's one of the first I don't know if it was the. I'm trying to think if it was the first corporation or it's one of the first corporations. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's what it was. You know, at least for sure the biggest first corporation there was, and of course the same flag that we have today for the United States is that same flag underneath. You know, it is the East India Company flag. If you go look that stuff up. So we've got Brady coming from the Patriots. Well, you know, they kind of use that flag in their symbolism of their logo. And he's come out of that. He's come out of the corporate, you know, the corporate system, and he's come over to the Bucks to be reborn. You see how that works? He's come over to the pirates that in the film Pirates of the Caribbean are the good guys. You know, he's come out of that corporate system. Just another interesting little way of looking at it. I'm not a big fan of Brady, to be quite honest, and they were blowing the smoke up his ass after the game as well. You know, what do you say about it? It just is what it is when it comes down to it. But I will say this. I don't know if I mentioned this in the other video. I know I looked at his name in here in the Gematrinator, but I think I put his full name in with all the middle bits and bobs. Maybe I didn't. I can't remember now what I did. But I probably should have put more emphasis on this. Tom Brady with the reverse ordinal 118. We're back to the dam again, back to this number that what I think references the date of destruction. It definitely references a balance point in the reality. So I don't know. This. I mean, this had to be first and foremost. I think. I can't. I mean, I'm not going to put anything else in here, but that was definitely needed to be referenced. Let's just put goat in as well. Right here we got the 43. Super significant number. This is the year. At least I hope I'm getting this right. But this is the year of the Dam Busters raid back in World War II. This is the year 43, and there's a bunch of other references, but we ain't got time to go into it right now. And I just really want to leave the whole thing right there. I don't think there's anything else I've missed, but I do now. Talking about these numbers, I have got some interesting information in my next video. I am going to try and do that right after this one now, about the 322. So anyway, stay tuned, and we'll just call it good. Johnny be good. I don't know what else to say. All right, I'll catch you on the next one. I've probably forgotten something, but I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.